So we are going to do some suji chim today. It's a Korean style of acupuncture where we place very small needles on the hand. If you could sort of like hold your hand like that, that'd be nice. The hand, just like the ear, is another one of the many microsystems within the body. The hand is sort of like, if you imagine it as a little person, the arms and hands are reflected here. The head, the neck, the throat are all reflected in the middle finger. The, stomach, abdomen, large intestine, and, uterus and sex organs are all at the base of the hand. And then the thumb and the pinky reflect the legs and feet. So similarly, if you go to the back of the hand, the lower back is reflected along the lower portion of the back of the hand, and then the neck, shoulders area is sort of in through here, and then the back of the head here, and the front of the hands, front of the feet. So we are going to work on Tom's head, throat, chest. We're always sort of treating him for asthma, allergies, sinus pressure, congestion. So we're going to do mainly points along this midline here. And before we do that, we're going to make sure that we have a clean hand. I'm going to stop touching his hand. I'm going to put on some gloves. I'm going to wipe it all down with alcohol. And then we're going to show you a few different types of needles. One is these little suji chim little hand needles. They are 8 millimeters long and 0.18 millimeters in diameter. And so we are going to use these. We are going to use some press tech needles at the end. And then we're going to show you some points that you can use at home for neck and shoulder as well as lower back pain. All right, so first I'm going to put on a pair of gloves. And we're going to take some alcohol prep pads. And we're going to do the first wipe down. I'm sure I will go back in and wipe some more. And just like with auricular acupuncture, acupressure is a good way to find out which points are the most tender. And so we're going to palpate around on the points that I think are going to be tender on Tom today. And so we're going to start up here with these sort of head and face points. So you let me know when I hit a tender spot, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Tender. Tender.
Not as bad.
Not as bad.
More so than the last one.
Okay. Tender there. Okay. Tender there. Okay. Tender there. Not bad. Tender there. Yeah. Okay. Tender there. Okay. 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 All right. And all right, so I think we'll start with this middle line. Let me just feel this down here, down to there.
Not as bad as some of them.
Okay. There?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And under there? Yeah. Under there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna alcohol swab again. So quite a few, if not most, of the points that I had in mind are tender. And again, this area at the tip reflects the head and face. This area in the middle of the middle finger reflects the heart. And then we have shoulders sort of in these two areas here. And then the lungs are kind of just below that. Let's see. Okay, so the lungs, let me feel those areas. Down to there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Down to there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And then more towards the upper part of this hand area, the palmar surface, we have the liver that takes up a pretty large area on the radial aspect of the upper hand, so kind of in through this general vicinity. Let me just sort of feel around down to there. Okay. All right. Let me get another cup pad. Just like to sort of wipe it down after I use the acupressure tool, just because that's not 100% sterile, although we do clean it well. And then we are using these Sujichin needles today, which are super teeny tiny little guys. And so we're going to go ahead and open that up, being careful not to touch the needle side. And then we have this little Sujichin injector, and you load these needles into the tip of this one by one, and it makes it for a very smooth and most often painless insertion. So we are going to go ahead and show you how we insert that first one. And then once you insert it, it doesn't fall out. And so we're going to go ahead and start at the top of the middle finger here. And so, real quick pinch. Not too bad, right?
No.
Yeah. All right, so the next one is for the nose. Real quick pinch. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. And the next one. Not too bad.
Mm.
Right. And we're just going to keep going down the center line here. Most of these points were tender when we palpated with the acupressure tool. Right. these lung points right about here. And right about here. All right. You doing okay? Good. All right. And then we palpated around the liver area, which is sort of right in through here. That was also tender. Got that one going. And then we have this is the diaphragm. We have the stomach right around here. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we have the navel sort of right in through here. All right, and then the last point that we didn't do yet is the diaphragm, which is right on the joint here. Okay. So this is a pretty good selection of points for Tom, just because most of his issues are in the head, neck, throat area. Liver we do because of, occasional beers here and there, and the lungs we do for his asthma. Stomach is just a good point to do for most people because that's where our immune system is. And then the navel here, again, that's kind of like where we consider in Chinese medicine the immune system to be. So we're going to let these sit for a bit and then we'll come back and do the other side. All right, so we will remove these points. Because there's not a whole lot of, skin and fleshy area for the needle to go in, a lot of times you'll get a little bit of blood upon removal, and that's totally normal and actually a good thing, especially when you have heat signs or inflammatory signs. And it's usually just a drop or two and then it stops. Okay. So then we'll have you flip your hand and we'll show some points for low back pain. So the classical points for low back pain are Lingu, which is this point right here. It's kind of at the junction of the V that's formed by the pointer finger and the thumb. So right in through here, if you were to sort of press on that on yourself, it would be probably tender, especially if you deal with lower back pain, even if it's occasional lower back pain. It's just a really, really great point for that. It's very close to a really popular and commonly known point called large intestine 4, which is sort of at the in line with the fold of the skin here, so it's more here. Is that tender as well? So we'll do that on Tom too, just because this is the command point of the face, and so it's really helpful for sinus congestion, sinus pressure, sinusitis, that kind of thing. And then we have points that are called Yao Tong Shui, which are in between the joints of the first the pointer finger and the middle finger, so sort of right in through there. Is that tender?
A little bit.
A little bit, okay. And then at the junction between the ring finger and the pinky finger, right at that V there, that's also tender. And then we have small intestine 3 right here, tender, and small intestine 4 right here. A little bit, okay. All right, and then we have small intestine 5. We have triple warmer 4, a little bit, and large intestine 5, a little bit. Okay. And what about these neck and shoulder points? Tender there at all? Not too bad. Tender there at all? A little bit. Tender there. Okay. Okay. So we are going to get some more alcohol. And just re-swab this whole area. All right, and for this, we are going to use some of these Sarin Pionex needles that are semi-permanent. You can take them home with you and wear them on your skin for a longer period of time. I'll sometimes keep them in for about 12 hours at a time, but your mileage may vary. You can take them off sooner than that if they're bothering you. And we'll just kind of show you what these look like. So they're single use. Little needles. You can barely see the needle because it's so tiny. Let's see if I can get a good. It's just super teeny tiny. And so these can be used on the hand and kept there so that the benefits of that acupoint can be felt for longer periods of time. So we're going to go ahead and insert this one, being careful not to touch the needle itself. These are fairly painless. You just sort of press it in. And it's almost like just a little tiny pinch, if anything, but a lot of times you don't feel much at all. So that's Lingu for lower back pain. A little tip about this point, if you're following along for your own body's sake, Lingu is best performed on the side, the hand that's on the opposite side of the pain. So if you have lower back pain on your right side, you would use the left hand and vice versa. So my back pain was always on my right side, so I'd be using my left hand. And so that is Lingu. Great point. And then we'll go ahead and do large intestine 4, which is right above that. Just sort of press that in. Very good. How does that feel, Tom? Good? Okay. All right. And then we felt around and noticed that this part of Yao Tong Shui was not tender, but this one was. So we'll go ahead and place that one there. All right. And then we notice that small intestine 3 was tender, so we're placing that one there. Small intestine 3 is really great for any pain along the spine. So whether it's neck pain or low back pain, SI3 is part of what we call the Dumai channel. And so this opens up the spine, essentially, is what that does. And then SI4, which is just a little bit farther down on the ulnar aspect of the side of the hand here. This is more for hip pain. specifically on the opposite side. So if you're dealing with right hip pain, you would use the left SI4 or small intestine 4. All right. And next, we'll show you a point that's really great for stiff neck. So if you're dealing with a stiff neck, feel around in the space that is found kind of right between the pointer finger and the middle finger, right at the top here. This is called logen, and this is a great point for stiff neck. It's actually called stiff neck is the name of the point. So that's really good for that. And then we'll do one more. Which is triple warmer 3, which is in between the ring and pinky finger, right at the sort of depression at the top of the hand here. And this one is really good for neck pain. It's good for anxiety. It's good for pain in at the shoulders. This is kind of the shoulder area here. And like I said, this is sort of the low back area. So we've got low back kind of going across here. This is sort of hip. And then we have the mid back would be sort of right in the LA4 area. And then upper back shoulders at the top here. So we'll send you home with those, and you can come back and we can replace them in about a day or two. Okay? You're welcome. Okay, so one other thing you can do at home is use this little acupressure ring. And this is something that you don't hold on your finger, but it helps to stimulate all the channels. For you, Tom, I would focus on the middle finger here and just kind of use it, keep it at your coffee table and just sort of use it throughout the day or whenever you think of it. Keep it at your desk at work. We'll send you home with these two, and you can use them whenever you feel called to. And what it does is it just sort of stimulates your acupuncture channels in these areas and helps to kind of wake them up. And yeah, it feels good at the same time. It's a little sharp if you're not used to it. They're not necessarily needles, but it's just like a little metal, stretchy metal acupressure tool. And they're really nice to have if you're a fidgeter. They're helpful for anxiety. They're helpful for headaches. And I don't know, I love them. So we'll send you home with those. And we'll see you later.